Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. Boy, I'm so excited. I'm humbled and I'm overjoyed at the sight of God. I am humbled in the sight of God because the sight of God is seeing us growing in love. That is the sight of God. And I am so thankful that the message of the freedom fighters is coming forth and that they didn't die and fight in vain. And that even the messages of the soldiers, the ancestors who went and fought in the wars, only to come back to nothing, to come back to hate, even in their uniform. Even now, we had a soldier in his uniform and he was faced with hatred. All of that was unnecessary. They knew they were being recorded and all that was unnecessary. They just go into this blind rage. That's what it is. And they just lose it. They truly do, because they so caught up in the spiritual warfare. They so caught up in evil, and then they don't think about it until afterwards. Just like your people, who do you so wrong. You known this person this long. I never thought they would do me like that. Could nobody have ever told me they would have done me like that? But honey, let me tell you something. They are under the spiritual warfare. They are caught up under the evil. Under the vice of the evil, which is to steal, kill, and destroy. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a picture I took, and when I zoomed in, it looked like the Lord, honey, is walking on the move. And also, there's a video I took, and as I was speaking, the sun was breaking through the clouds and coming out just as I spoke about the light of God shining on the world. Then it went back in the sun. It went back in behind the clouds. And I'm telling you, honey, just as there is a force of evil, there is a force of good that is rolling over this ball of confusion that we all living in, that is lifting people up from oppression, that is helping people to rise, that is showing people how to grow, that is reaching out for the oppressed. As we all rise, so we need to lift one another up so that we will all rise over the evil. We steady hearing about all these shootings and different things. That's why we need to tell our people to grow. You know who these people are. You know where these people at. Get your people and tell them to grow. It is time to start growing in love. Bring your people in. Get the talented lost and show them the way, honey. Get them a helping hand. Lift them up. Because then as you lift them up, we all become lifted. And I'm going to tell you something. Don't make no difference in no children. Don't make no difference in no babies. Those are babies. It don't matter if that ain't your niece or that ain't your nephew or that ain't your son. That's a baby. And you don't know, that baby may grow up to be greatness. We got to show these children love. We got to demonstrate love to our children. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something. We got to take care of them now. They are the future. Our children are the future. And if we don't take care of them now, they won't be able to take care of us later. You like 9 laters? They won't be able to take care of us later. If we don't take care of them now, and then they won't be able to take care of the future later, the future generation and the future generation. And that includes taking care of the planet. Stop littering. Stop throwing trash everywhere. Down by the Mississippi River, down there by the riverfront, it's so beautiful down there, but it's so full of trash. I don't understand when the people go down there, there, just start picking up some trash while you're down there. You know, it looked like a beach down there. It's really beautiful, really pretty. Go down there and start picking up some trash. Let's think about the future. Let's think about our children. Stop throwing stuff out the window as you drive down the highway. You know, don't do that. You know, playing the game with the police. Don't do that. You know, stop throwing stuff out the window, because see, you littering. You littering, and you making the planet and the earth look bad, making it look terrible. You know, we trying to build up in the community. So we don't want to be turn our communities down. You know, they already tore down, you know, by the influx of drugs coming in community. So, you know, we got to start building up people. We got to start thinking about a better way of thinking, a better way of acting, for a better way of living in God. You know, we really do. You know, grab hold of your people and tell them to start growing in God. You know, tell them to start growing. I'm telling you, you know, it's been a life of spirits with me, a life of spirits. From the time that my children were babies, I've lived in haunted houses, but see, the thing of it was then I couldn't hear the good spirits, because I was under oppression. You know, I used to drink back then, you know, and so, you know, and then I'd be going through with the different circumstances that I'm in, you know, that I'm dealing with. But I'm gonna tell you something, you know, the evil will come to you. You know, the evil is so forceful. It is not racist. It is going through people any kind of way that it can. So what we got to do is start using love. The evil is so prevalent. Just like the ancient African queen told me in the house, they only want you to know they're here. So, but they want to do all kind of foolishness to scare you, to let you know they're here. You know, to run water all upside the wall, and to throw the mop upside the wall, you know, and show up on the stairs, you know, and manifest themselves. And for see, the evil is so prevalent. But God is working in the background. See, when I cleared my mind of the alcohol, I was able to hear the wisdom from the Lord. You know, how to overcome the evil. Because see, look here, I didn't want to be dealing with no more ghosts and stuff under the influence. See, because see, I had been doing that and that wasn't working. So I had to do something different. You know, and watching the haunted house movie, scary movie, that didn't work either. I stopped doing that too, because that wasn't doing nothing but making the problem worse, because it was making me all more scared than what I was. You know, so I had to do something different. I had to really lean on the Lord. I really, truly did. I had to really lean on the Lord this time, and not lean on some foolishness, not lean to the spiritual warfare, not lean to the alcohol, and not lean, you know, on some chaos, you know, like I had been doing. You know, I learned a better way. You know, I started thinking and looking to the hills, which cometh my help. See, the Lord was over there working in the background, because, see, I had got me together. See, change starts with me. See, we can sit up and say, well, I keep on doing, but Jesus gonna forgive. But see, I'm gonna tell you something. You got to give an account to your life and what you've been doing on this earth. When you get to the spirit world, because, see, that's a spiritual birth. You know, you get to the other side, that's a spiritual birth. This is a physical life you living in here. And how you doing on this highway of life, you gonna give an account of that. You know, if you running down, tailgating somebody, running them down to get nowhere and nothing real fast, then, you know, you gonna give an account to that. So you need to slow your roll and stay in your lane. That's what I was told. You know, to stay in my lane. Don't worry about what he doing and where he at. You know, I'm going to tell you something. These narcissistic people, they something else, honey. But I'm getting ready to out. See, we got to out this. We got to out the behavior. And change starts with me. So I'm getting ready to out it. You know, Mr. Hunt, Mr. Brian Hunt, I'm getting ready to out. We getting ready to out this behavior. We got to get ready to out these people. You know, this cannot go on. You know, I was devastated. I got a video, you know, of the car. You know, I'm over it now. God gave me the breakthrough. That's why I had to keep my eyes focused on the prize. I had to keep doing the podcast. I had to keep doing the work of the Lord because God was working it out for me in the background, just like he did in that house. See, he gave me the breakthrough so that I could be the living testimony to you, so I could tell you how to keep on holding on to the Lord, let go and let God. Allow God to work that situation out, meditate it to the Lord with a forgiving heart. And see, that's how you begin to grow in God. That's how you begin to be blessed. Because I'm going to tell you something. I really, truly been blessed immensely. Just over, the Lord is just blessing. See, because the spiritual warfare for me is over with. I got rid of my problems. I ain't dealing with no more of that foolishness and no more of that chaos. See, because it don't even matter how long you know somebody or how long you been married. You think you know somebody, next thing you know, that spiritual warfare jump off in and you be like, oh, I didn't know. I never thought he was going to do that. Well, what made him do? What? Wow. You mean to tell me that's what he did? Yeah, that's what he did. Because see, evil is not racist. The evil jumps off in folks and it's coming after you. That's how I be taking people up out of here. For real. That's how people be leaving up out of here because they get caught up in the spiritual warfare. I almost left up out of here in it, a couple of times. So, but God, God kept me, honey. God held on to me, see, because God had to work for me. God had me as a rose growing in his garden. But God had to nurture me. I had to go through some things. See, I can't sit up and tell you about how to overcome if I ain't overcome. If I don't know nothing about how to overcome, I'm just telling about somebody else's experience. I'm telling about what somebody else did, how somebody else came up. What good is that to you? That's a secondhand experience. Honey, I can tell you about some of everything. Honey, ain't nothing yet you done been through that I can't tell you that I ain't been through, honey. I done seen it all. Just about did it all, honey. I'm telling you, I understand. But the thing of it is, I don't need to know your problem. I don't need to know the situation because look here, as long as you believe and trust in the Lord, all you got to do is meditate it to God. God gonna give you the breakthrough. God gonna shine the light on you. God gonna deliver you up out your circumstances. God gonna lift you up. Because I'm telling you, God brought this movement forth to lift us up as a people. This is God, honey. Glory be to God. Praises be to the Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. I'm telling you, this is God, honey. God did this. I was sitting over there just like everybody else. Just looking at what was going on. At the same time dealing with some demons. But I'm going to tell you something. Legend after legend after legend. Honey, just been failed by the oppression. Just failed. What are we going to do? Just sit back and watch? And woe is me? No, we not. We going to rise as a people. We going to come up. We going to take a stand. And the freedom fighters. I think about them a lot. I think about them daily. I think about them with their raised fists in the air. Just wanting, just civil rights, just wanting rights, just want genuine equality. That's all they wanted, was genuine equality. But when they killed Dr. King, that dream, just went away. They said, well, his dream of a beloved community is over with because, basically because he was gone. But see, they didn't realize that, when they took Dr. King, I was a year old. But they didn't realize that God kept this rose. And this rose was growing in his garden. And see, I came along and went through some oppression. I had some storms growing in that garden. I'm going to tell you, honey, the rain pelted me. But God kept me. God had his beloved ancestors. Some people like to call them guardian angels. But, honey, they held on to me and they kept me. Even through this last storm, honey, because I'm going to tell you something. Never in my life, have I ever been without. Have I ever been homeless. I know what it feels like to have nothing. Never in my life have I lived with my children in the street. Never. Now one of them can tell you that. We always had a roof over our head, and I always worked a job. I'm going to tell you, I always took care of my children, always paid my rent. And the times I can count on my hands maybe once or twice that I was lucky enough to go to an organization that would even help me pay some rent. I just had to fork it myself because my dad used to tell me, and that's what he drilled in us. Work it out. Keep working. As long as you work, it'll work out. Just keep working and make it work. And that's what I did. I went to work. He drilled in us to work, honey, and I went to work. And that's what I did. But I trusted. Just imagine this scenario right here. You done worked all your life, took care of your babies, and you decide, that here you trying to turn your life over to God, and you want a companion with you, as you going along this journey. You meet somebody who say, yeah, I want to go this journey with you. We gonna go in God. I'm thankful I met a woman minister. I can see myself preaching this and saying everything sweet as it can be. We can't believe somebody just did him so wrong. But whoa, honey, the wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm telling you, that leopard hid good. That leopard hid until I said I do. And then that leopard pounced. I'm telling you. And I went through something for 3 years for nothing. Headache, heartache, and just emotionally devastated me and financially devastated me. But God, I'm telling you, because I'm disabled, and I got a bad back, but God delivered us, honey. God gave us the breakthrough. A beautiful, beautiful cottage for me and my baby. And the upstairs that she got to herself. God truly has blessed us, and I'm so thankful. But we are going to out the narcissist because we are going to be the change. I am the change. I am going to begin the change. I am going to out this narcissistic behavior because it is part of the spiritual warfare that we are dealing with. People cannot go around doing people and kids like this, on a war path just to destroy as many people as you can, and don't even care. Say this is your life. Yeah, that's your life, but your life is, you don't have the right to destroy somebody else's life by the way you want to live your life. That's a text message he sent me. This his life, and he can live it the way he want. You can't live it undoing evil to people. You can't live it doing people wrong. You can't live it going out dogging kids, and hurting kids and mistreating kids, innocent kids. All they want to do is love you, but all you looking at is some dollar signs, somebody can give you, how you can use somebody. Now we get ready to out this narcissistic behavior. This getting ready to be over with. All this using people's stuff, foolishness. We need to stop believing in fairy tales. Make it on your own. Make it work for you. Go out there and make it happen. Make it do what it do for real. That's what you need to do. And stop trusting in man and believe in yourself and count on you. That's who you need to count on. And even say on the money, in God we trust. Trust you and trust God. That's it. Because when man fail, God will prevail. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom all over the world. I love you. Let's rise.